Yes, hello everyone. It's not often we get Stevie here out of his Celtic gear. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you in my entire life, or your entire life, not wearing Adidas Celtic gear or New Balance Celtic gear or whoever else Celtic gear. So explain yourself.
Some people have real jobs to do, Hamish. And anyway, just a colour though, innit?
Just a colour, mate. How are you getting on?
Yep, it's good to be back, good to have the notes back, and it's good to have your back as well.
I know, yeah, it's good to be back. We are in the wonderful Babbity Bowster. As I said on yesterday's video, we're looking ahead to the game tonight with this live preview. Then tomorrow we are going to kind of give you a day after reaction as well. There'll be no live reaction after the game tonight. So doing things a little bit differently. We've drafted in Stevie on his hour from lunch, so we'll make this snappy. How are you feeling about tonight?
Good. I think getting into this game tonight, like the weekend and the last minute winner, was so crucial. Getting into that, like dropping points against St Johnstone and getting into this sort of do or die game tonight. I mean, it would have been unthinkable to drop points and get into this one as well with the pressure on us. So that last minute goal with Gigi was just it was like a real, weight off the support, weight off the team and the manager as well, getting into this one. And I do have a good feeling about it tonight. I think it's got to be. I mean, we've been looking for. I mean, we've already had like a wee moment against Shakhtar, didn't we? We really should have had a moment against Real Madrid a few weeks ago. But I think tonight we will get one.
Well, like a goal.
Aye, just exactly a goal and something big to celebrate. I think we really have got a really good feeling getting into this one tonight. And again, it's all down to that at the weekend, but it would have been very different if we had dropped points, I think.
So do you think getting that late goal on Saturday gives the whole team a boost going into this game?
Yeah, I think so. Just psychologically, I think so. You look at the scenes as well at the end, and everybody was so jubilant to begin into that game. Still top of the league was huge. And it just becomes, again, winning without playing that well. It's a massive factor getting into these type of games, Hamish. But no, we definitely have to be playing far better tonight, though.
Right, can we get your team out right away? Because I'm a bit slaggy, mate. Nothing against the guy in the middle, but why have you got James McCarthy starting a Champions League game?
And I hope I'm wrong with it. I'm not here wanting to be proven right or anything, but the reason I've got that in is just because with Abelgard, I just still don't know how fully fit he is. Yeah. It's big questions on James McCarthy's fitness. I understand the guy's always like sort of blowing after half an hour or so. But I just think with Abelgard, considering, like the manager said, he still didn't get a pre-season, and you saw him against Leipzig last week, he was nowhere near it. And I just think for this game where we have to be on the front foot and we have to be, taking full control of the game and setting the tempo, I don't know if he'll be fully out. I think he's got a big part to play maybe when he comes on as a sub, but I don't know just about starting the game. But again, I've not got full hope in James McCarthy, but our options now are limited with the fact that we have got depleted numbers in that area, Hamish.
Well, for mocking you so much for that team, that's mine one wee change, and I do have Abelgard there in the middle. How confident are you that the other 10 names that we have there will start? Because I'm actually not confident at all. I just think there's so many different things going on at the moment. Obviously neither of us have got Jota in our team for tonight. Ange very coy, I think, on whether Jota will be available for the game tonight. We'll just have to wait and see. But looking around the rest of that team, I think Haksabanovic has earned a shot tonight. I really do. I don't think I think he's earned a shot, full stop. But I think even more so when you look at the likes of Maida and Abad, I don't think either of them are playing particularly well at the moment. Both have been guilty of missing big chances, probably as guilty as each other. I think Haksabanovic, based on that performance on Saturday, albeit in the middle of the park, I think he's earned a shot tonight on the wing if Jota isn't around. And I think even if Jota is around, I wouldn't be against having my two wingers as Haksabanovic and Jota. I feel we need that real creativity tonight. I think we've lacked that so far. I
totally agree on Haksabanovic though. I think he's been really good. One of the big things you notice with him, he's not afraid to run at players. He won't check inside a lot, he won't pass it back the way. He would generally take a player on, and we get a lot of joy when you saw him through the middle, how he was direct and busting at players, caused St Johnstone a lot of hassle, and that's where we got one of our goals from, of course. We could have got a second as well. But yeah, I think with Haksabanovic, he'll be key tonight. Got to remember though, he is going to be up against two really good fullbacks, and RB Leipzig really do like to utilise them as much as possible. We saw that in the first leg. They're very good players, especially with Samikin as well. So, and I think that's who he'll be up against on the left. But I think he's definitely earned it, Hamish, and I'm going to be buzzing to see him tonight.
We'll just go into the striker stuff. What are you making of this from Citizen Mikey? Giakoumakis We need him up front to stand any chance. I mean, Kyogo's going to start, isn't he, given that he was rested at the weekend?
Kyogo caused him a bit of damage as well with that assist for Jota last week too.
I know he had a maybe a header, but...
And he missed a goal edge opportunity as well. I think Kyogo's got to be far more clinical as well in that first half. But I think the fact that Kyogo has been rested, wasn't on at the weekend, and GG completed that 96 minutes. I reckon we'll probably see Kyogo starting there tonight. Don't know if I'd say we need GG on to stand a chance, though. I think we've got it in us. I think generally tonight, getting into this is a 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, getting into the game against Real Madrid, it was just like a bit of faint hope. You always knew the quality of them. I still don't think there's massive differences between us and RB Leipzig. I really don't. It was just fine margins and us shooting ourselves in the foot last week, Hamish. And I think if we go in, don't shoot ourselves in the foot again, and we actually, do what we did last week. See that the bit of play between Hatate and Kyogo with the ball to Jota,
like that, yeah.
Quality play, and just molded it, and we can really hurt them. When I saw, I think it was Mainz's goal against them as well. I mean, RB Leipzig certainly at the back were very shaky for it.
I agree with that. I really don't think... I think it's easy sometimes to look at a team playing in a league like the Bundesliga and with, very much hyped talent in their team, and just to think that we've kind of on to hiding to nothing tonight. I think tonight is a game Celtic can win, and I think it's the kind of game we should be looking to win. I genuinely do. I think this is a massive opportunity for this team tonight, and we've had opportunities so far in the group, and for whatever reason it hasn't quite come off. I think tonight is our biggest opportunity yet, because I think the big thing tonight is we have that home support. And I look back at that first hour we played against Real Madrid, and I just thought when the game was frantic, when Celtic were taking stuff quickly, when the opposition weren't really settled, I thought we looked really dangerous, and that was against a team like Real Madrid with all their experience. I think tonight, if we see that kind of performance, I think if we see Celtic Park rocking, which by the way I think it absolutely will be, I think it will be bouncing tonight. I think everyone kind of realises what a big opportunity this is, and I think this is a game that not only that Celtic can go and win, but I think this is a game Celtic can go and win relatively comfortably tonight. I genuinely think there's an opportunity there for us. I'm not saying we're going to win 3-0, but I think there's an opportunity there for us tonight to win 2-0 or something like that. If we take our opportunities, we will create them and stay switched on at the back. The big thing, of course, is, and Ange alluded to it yesterday, Callum McGregor is not around. It's fine for the weekend at St Johnstone. I doubt we're going to see Matt O'Reilly holding tonight. We may, but I doubt it. How much of a miss is McGregor going to be in a game like tonight? Yeah,
it all comes for the tempo and everything as well, doesn't it? And I think we're really going to be looking at Rio Hatate to continue his impressive performances. I think he has been...
Matt O'Reilly as well, yeah.
Matt O'Reilly's got to step up, I think, Hamish. I don't think he's been impressive in the last few games. Thought he was a man down against Leipzig away. Don't know your thoughts on it, but I thought Hatate, certainly with his energy and just how much he's buzzing and pressing all over the park, we're going to really need him tonight, especially without Callum McGregor. He is going to have to step up even more so, but you're looking for help from O'Reilly in there. I think the key for the night is, you're talking about winning the game comfortably. I mean, I felt we could have been over there last week and get a draw. A lot of last week was down to the fact that the way that RB Leipzig play, I watched it. I mean, I was getting so wound up watching the fact that, what I'm going to say, goalkeeper to the fullback, back to the goalie, fullback, defender, goalie, defender again, then we start pressing the ball, getting frustrated. They sensed that, and then they just plucked us apart in midfield, and then their two fullbacks who were just passing the ball and just sort of playing tippy-tappy with the goalie, just bomb up and join the wingers. I don't know why the manager didn't cotton on to that or change it to stop it last week, but that's where we were caught out, and I just hope that the press has got to be far more effective if we're going to be getting a result, and that's what we have to stop, because they'll play that exact same way tonight, so they will.
I mean, we had moments in the game last week, we really did, and I just think a bit more care in the final third, and I think Carter Vickers being back is huge for us as well. I feel like that's almost negated the McGregor loss. I think those two players are equally as important for us at this level, and I think you saw a difference with Carter Vickers back in the defence on Saturday. So I think him tonight, we both had Jens next to him. Is that the way you see it going?
Possibly, although Stephen Wells didn't really put a foot wrong either. Like last week, but certainly when he was on the ball, I think the reason for that though as well, that Jen's distribution's a bit better than Stephen Wells. They were standing off Wells because they knew that with the ball he wasn't going to hurt them too much.
Look at that Shakhtar away game, and I thought Jens and Carter Vickers were pretty good.
They were.
In that game.
I think Carter Vickers, the key thing for him tonight is, with that midfield and our attack, we're going to have to distribute the ball far quicker. Welsh was taking a lot of touches last week. It's kind of hurting us when we're trying to move forward and build at pace. I think with Cameron and Carter Vickers back, he'll be able to build at pace, and that's something we have to do tonight, just play very quickly like we did against Real Madrid. I think we'll see that. I think the crowd will be up for it. I certainly am. You are. I think everybody inside that ground tonight when the teams come out will be rocking. Hopefully the players feed off that as well.
It's a weird place we're in the group because we're bottom with 1 point, and it's I'll be honest, it's easy to feel a little bit despondent because we've had opportunities in all 3 games and we've got 1 point out of 9. But it's a strange way the group has worked out. We've got a really good opportunity. Opportunity is the kind of key word here tonight, and I think it's in a fortnight when we play Shakhtar. If we win those 2 games,
we're in some position.
We could potentially be already qualified for the last 16. I mean, tonight, if we win, it moves us on to 4 points. I think we'd possibly go into second in the group, maybe still third, but we'd have an opportunity in the next game to move into second at home to Shakhtar. So it's just such a, even though we're sitting in this really kind of dangerous, dull looking position at the bottom of the group, I still think there's real possibilities for us in this group. I just really hope we bring it tonight. If we come with that intensity and if we make the game frantic, I think that's the key thing for me. Celtic, not even just this Postecoglou team, but any Celtic team in Europe, I always just think we're better when games are frantic. Certainly at home we're better when games are frantic because, the crowd's up for it, and I just feel like we thrive. We've spoken about it so many times, we thrive on chaos, and especially this Postecoglou team, when we're taking throw-ins quickly and the opposition aren't settled, and the game, almost when the game turns into a kind of basketball match, I sometimes think that helps us. I know they had opportunities from that last week and got some of their goals from that counter-attack, and so we do need to be wary of that, but I think that our goal came for that as well, and I just think that kind of match will suit us tonight, and I hope it's like that. If it's the kind of game, which I don't actually think it will be because it's 2 kind of attacking teams, but if it is a kind of a slower, more pedestrian game where Leipzig are kind of happy to sit in and counter, then I'd be a bit more worried about that. I think if it's a kind of game where we have space to run into and take the game to them, then I honestly fancy our chances. Make it frantic is what I'm saying. I hope the crowd play their part in that as well.
Yeah, it's all down to the crowd and the players and the manager setting us up properly, but I agree with that, Hamish. I think if we're pedestrian and tippy-tappy, it's like you look at what Marco Rosa said last night. How
many minutes are we in? I knew you would want to bring this up. 13 minutes. Go for it, mate.
All right, okay. Yeah, it's something, it was like when we applauded Modric off the park, I had my big hissy fit at it, to you privately, of course, a few weeks ago. And I just think Marco Rosa's comments about how the RB Leipzig team and him are looking forward to come to Celtic Park and it's all fun and everything, I really hope those comments come back to bite him. I don't think he's meaning anything, nasty or patronising by it. He's probably just been honest with it. But you don't want Celtic Park to be that way. I remember growing up seeing the best players in the world come to Celtic Park. I know that was like 50 years ago, Hamish, right? But you were seeing them come to Celtic Park and absolutely feeding it. And as we've talked about, Bayern Munich celebrating, leaving after 0-0 at Kings of the Bundesliga at the time. So you want to see Leipzig, you want to see them sort of, can't wait to get off the park tonight. I don't think it's all just down to the crowd, and the team have to be set up properly, but I hope they're using that as a bit of motivation as well, because I certainly don't want any sort of opposition player to come to Celtic Park and for it to be a fun atmosphere, and that's why the crowd have got to play their part to make it as hostile as possible for them.
Do you think though he would have come out and said, we're dreading this, it's going to be horrible?
Maybe not, but he didn't even need to use the way he's talked about fun as if it's like Disneyland or something. It is motivating to hear that.
Yeah, well, I get that. You always wonder about the translation and all of that, but I don't. I saw the quotes to that tweet that Leipzig put out, and I know people were getting quite frustrated about that because the Celtic Park whole thing is gone. I think Celtic Park is still an intimidating place. I genuinely do.
I think it can be.
I mean, I thought it was pretty intimidating against Real Madrid for certainly the first 60 minutes. When the game went, it got quite different, I think, and people started to admire Real Madrid a bit more. But I felt it was perfectly intimidating for 60 minutes. It's always the same though against these teams in Europe. I don't particularly think it makes a huge difference to quality teams. I mean, Leipzig are a team that play in the Bundesliga. They go to all of these grounds, 50, 60,000 probably 10 times a season. They're well used to this kind of thing. I just think it really gets Celtic going, and that's my main thing. I just hope it's rocking tonight, because I think there's been a danger in the past. I don't know if you will remember the Brendan Rodgers first campaign. We had that big Man City game. The place was rocking, great result. And I think the next match was actually against German opposition in Gladbach. And nothing was the same at all. It was almost as if the big event had been and everyone turned up expecting to beat Gladbach, and it just didn't happen and it was flat. I don't foresee that at all tonight. I think it's a very different set of circumstances. I think the fact that we played Leipzig just 6 days ago is a good thing, because I think everyone is still kind of reeling from that game and really ready to get a result tonight. And I honestly think it's potential tonight to be the biggest night or the biggest game so far in the Ange Postecoglou era. I know that's a major statement. We've beaten Rangers 3-4-0, beaten them at Ibrox, won the league, etc. But I think tonight, if we can beat Leipzig and win a game in the Champions League group stage, it could just be so huge for this team, and it's there for us. I mean, Leipzig are a good side, but they're a beatable side as well.
Yeah, and we said that when we were drawn with them as well, with the Manchester. Like, we weren't celebrating the draw, but they were favourable because we can get in them and we can beat them. I agree with you fully. I think it's got all the makings tonight of, one of the classics of Celtic nights. I'm saying classic because, it's true, because we haven't seen it in quite some time, and we have to get back to that level again.
I think since we won the Ajax. I mean, I could see a night like that. I could see a night like that Ajax game.
I think, and then after that Ajax game, remember, we went back, we reverted again, we lost to Milan. This team have to use it if they do get a positive result tonight. They have to use it as a platform to then build on it and to take that into the Shakhtar game. So that's what I'm hoping for as well, Hamish. But yeah, it's going to be difficult, and I do think we've got it in us to get a result. But I mean, if we can't stress enough the way that Leipzig play with the full-backs and the defence, the way I was going mental the other week, if we stop them doing that and their press is more effective and we can force them into mistakes, then I think we've got a chance of doing it. I really do. And another thing I noted is that I don't think Leipzig specifically are a team that threaten a lot from set pieces. I certainly didn't notice anything sort of last week when we were playing them in that. I think maybe we can hurt them from set pieces with CCV and Jens in there, so hopefully we can get a goal and counter on that as well.
Abelgard, if he plays as
possibly
well as a physical presence. What the other thing I said last week, Leipzig games have tended to be very relatively one-sided. They've not had a game settled, they've not had a game drawn or even settled by just one goal. I think in like their last 8 matches, they've all been by at least 2 goals. That continued last week, so I think that's something worth bearing in mind as well, that if we can get off to a good start, this Leipzig team does have kind of the ability, or ability is not the right word, but they do tend to go off a little bit. So if we can get that early goal, I think it's stating the obvious, but the first goal was huge. If they get it, I think Celtic Park becomes quite a kind of tired place.
Real Madrid, when they scored the first goal, you could understand the flat, because I mean that atmosphere was just electric that night. And when a team like Real Madrid score first, they're not going to concede. They're going to see the game out
as well. 2 minutes later,
I think, even if, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but even if Leipzig do score first tonight, I think Celtic Park and the fans have still got to get right behind them, because they can be got at. And you saw last week, we went a goal behind away from home and we still equalised, and then stupid mistake shot us in the foot on it. All we have to do is cut that out next time, because we are capable of scoring against them, Hamish, for the players to do it. So there's no excuse for it. There really isn't. Right,
I'll let you think about a prediction just while I go through some of these. A draw for RB tonight is an extremely good result. That will benefit them. Daniel saying, good to get preview in before going to bed, and a 6 a.m. wake up for kick-off in Melbourne. Enjoy the game for those going. Would you be getting up at 6 a.m. for the game if you were living in Melbourne?
If I was living there, aye, definitely. Plus there's a good weather as well, innit?
I'd probably just record it and get it when I woke up. Ryan McGinley, actually, I wonder if that's the
Who's
Ryan
that?
McGinley. Needs to be a raucous atmosphere tonight, buzzing for it. Just a small sample size of my pals, very despondent going into the game tonight. Maybe we're all just still scunnered from that trip home from Germany last week, which wasn't great, but I saw a 3-0 in there for Leipzig. I saw a 2-1 in there. I think I saw maybe one of them saying that Celtic would win. So do you read anything into my pals and their despondency?
I can understand it to an extent, because I was really annoyed last week, but this is a totally different game. Totally different game. We're not getting. I'm hoping.
We had chances last week as well.
Of course we did, and it's going to be a change of personnel there as well. We're going to be hurt without McGregor, but we can rise to the occasion. We've seen Celtic players without big players before. I remember, alright, we weren't up against European class opposition, but we weren't without McGregor before. I was watching games with you, going to Tynecastle without him, thinking we're never going to win games, we're going to drop points, and it's, we rose up.
Marco rose up.
He's after and stepped up, so I think we can do that again, Hamish. I do. I think when the chips down and people are writing us off, hopefully Ange and the team can step up and prove everyone wrong. I'm certainly not getting into the game despondent. I didn't go into the this one tonight reading it too much into last week. Big thing is stopping the way they play, beating that first press, and if we can do that, really confident we can get the result.
Are you going for a Celtic win?
I'm going to be really optimistic and say if we're going to win, it'll be 2-1. I can see them scoring, but 2-1 is 2-1 to us.
Right, I'm going to go 2-1 as well, actually. That's what I said to my
Cough
pals
out.
earlier. I did mention earlier I could see us winning by a couple of goals. I just see a repeat of that 2018 game under Brendan Rodgers. I could see something similar. Enjoy the game if you're going. Enjoy it if you're watching at home as well. A reminder that we will not have a live reaction for you right after the game. A few reasons for that. Well, one main reason is that I'm actually in the mix zone after the game. How was that actually after Real Madrid? Mix zone. Were you in the mix zone?
With the manager and all that?
Yeah.
It was alright. It was decent.
I think I was talking about a mixed hoagie or something like that.
I thought I don't know. That was. I think obviously it would have been better had we got a positive result, but yeah.
So did you get to speak to the manager?
No, Ange, I think for them speaks to BT only, but I think they send down quite a few players for it.
Right, okay.
But yeah, no, it was fine. It was alright.
We could definitely have done this off camera, so apologies everyone, you didn't have to hear all that. We'll continue this and we'll end this for now, but that's the main reason why we're not doing a live reaction, but it does mean that we'll have plenty of audio for you on tomorrow's video. So come on the boys in green, let's get a result. We will speak to you very soon. Take care.